I'm going to break down the best items to buy from Quince for summer. If you're new here, I'm Jamie Lee, and at this point I have tried hundreds of items from Quince, so I have a really good handle on which are the best of the best. I do want to flag that Quince only ship within the US. I currently use mail forwarding in order to be able to shop from the brand, and I can leave those details in the description box below. If you don't know the drill, this will be a speed review where I quickly run through all of my favorites, talking about the fabrication, the fit, and the sizing. And I will have a corresponding blog post over on my website where I run through all the exact item measurements for the pieces that I've shared. So all of those links will be down in the description box below. I'm also planning to do this in category orders, so I will leave timestamps on screen in case you would like to skip ahead at all. If you have any questions for anything that I forgot to mention, please leave that in the comments too. Anyway, let's dive right into it, and I think we have to start off with the tops. Starting with the European linen tank, this is a great basic and it comes in at just under $30. Comes in a few different colors. I love the high neckline, feels really chic and sophisticated, and the silhouette means that it looks beautiful worn both tucked and untucked. I will say that as this has absolutely no give, if you are bustier, you may like to try some of their other styles instead, but just a really solid option in my books, and I really love the quality of Quince's linen pieces. It feels a little bit lived in, like it's potentially been pre-treated or pre-washed, and it only gets better with age. Perhaps my favorite piece from Quince has to be this linen vest, which I can't find on their website, but I highly implore you to keep an eye out as it's one you don't want to miss. I wish I'd bought it in all three colors. It has a nice high neckline and the buttons down the front, long line silhouette, and it does have a tie at the back so you can cinch it. And I find this gives you a beautiful waisted effect, incredibly flattering, and it reminds me of something that you would buy from a brand like Dish, but at a fraction of the price point. It's fully lined as well. That said, their regular European linen vest is also equally nice. It's currently only online in the French blue. It has a deep V rather than a high neck, and it's a shorter design, so a perfect option for petites. This is more generously cut, so I'm wearing the small here, but the extra small would have been better suited as it is quite wide across the bust. But I think a really beautiful, more tailored option, especially for the office, assuming you're able to bare your shoulders. One of the oldest Quince items I have in my wardrobe is the vintage wash Tencel camp shirt. Again, a really good price for a beautiful basic, and I love the silhouette as it feels a little bit unique. It has a drop shoulder and the seam is slightly gathered, so it means that it does have a little flick at the end of it, which has a soft femininity to it. I would say that the white is 90 to 95% opaque, so I would recommend wearing it with a nude tone bra. Has a really lovely kind of relaxed fit and feels quite reminiscent of Madewell's Courier shirt if you're familiar with it, but without the pockets on the front. We can probably all agree that Quince do basics very well, and I am obsessed with these organic cotton micro rib scoop neck tanks. The price per unit to me is aligned with the fact that this feels like a premium quality basic, a lot more elevated than a simple cotton rib tank that you might buy from a place like H&M. It's really plush and soft and has a nice amount of stretch to it, and again, I would recommend sticking to your usual size for a slim but relaxed fit. If you do want to get a 3-pack, you can save 20%, which I think is a really good deal. One of Quince's more underrated basics is the stretch cotton jersey boat neck tank. This is only $20 and it is incredibly chic. I love the boat neck design. It's giving Audrey Hepburn, elegance and refinement personified. It comes in a few colors. I can't speak to whether or not the white one is opaque, but I'm assuming probably not, though the coffee brown and the black are. This washes really well and the fit makes you look so snatched because it is very figure hugging. I wear my usual size small. I feel like one of the pieces Quince is best known for are their linen long sleeve shirts, and these are such a great staple and for good reason. I actually tend to size up in these to a medium so I can get more of a relaxed feel, but it gives you that beautiful texture that we associate with summertime at such an affordable price point. These are only $40 and you can can create a mix and match set as well with some of their linen bottoms, which come in the same colors. The weight of the linen is really nice. It's not too heavy or too thick, so it gives it a really beautiful drape, and it also has these lovely little contrast white buttons as well. If you want something that reads as a little bit more polished, then I implore you to check out their organic cotton poplin long sleeved shirts. One of my favorite basics from the brand. These have that lovely crisp quality to them, and again, I actually do size up, but I go up 2 sizes to a large, get this very nice oversized, borrowed from the boyfriend feel. I would recommend going with your usual size if you want a regular, relaxed, but still tailored fit for the office, but a really good throw-on piece, and also look great worn unbuttoned as that third element for a more casual outfit. You are able to pair that cotton poplin shirt with these pull-on shorts, which I think is an incredibly chic, easy breezy summertime combo, and that's personally what I do and will be doing in the summertime coming here in Australia. These have a very thick elasticated waistband, which I like. It's firm, but it doesn't feel too tight on the body. I recommend going with your usual size here, so I'm wearing the size small. It's the details that matter. I love the way that it scallops at the hem on the sides, and also the fact that it has pockets both at the hip, and there's a patch pocket at the back. Perfect for throwing your keys or just popping your hand in there when you're standing at ease, but a really good little basic, and it just makes the perfect set when worn with that shirt. Similarly, I did also want to highlight the European linen high-waisted shorts. These are incredibly high-waisted. They sit much higher on the waist than the cotton poplin shorts from before. Really good price point being $30. This is the type of thing that I would be adding to my wardrobe, especially if I wanted a good basic I could wear at home and abroad when I'm going on holiday, particularly for a holiday where I might be doing a lot of swimming. You can imagine this with your swimsuit. It would just look very chic and polished. Does come in lots of really nice colors too, and I do recommend going with your usual size. I'm wearing the size small. I would say most people find Quince through their viral $50 cashmere sweater, but their other sweaters should not be missed either. I really love their organic cotton pieces. I think that they are so robust and thick, and this Fisherman crew is a really good example of that. This is probably the most traditional fit out of all of them. It's quite a slim cut, and I do suggest going up a size if you prefer a little bit more ease in your knitwear, as the cotton is a little bit more sturdy, and I wouldn't say stiff, but it does hold its structure well. I like that the sweater does have a double layered collar, as it gives it a bit more heft around the neckline, and that it doesn't come in at the hem. So it's very straight, meaning it looks good both worn untucked or worn tucked into your shorts, pants or skirts. I also can't believe the price on this one, that it's only $40. That is wild to me. I'm wearing mine in a size medium. Another favorite of mine, the organic cotton striped crew sweater, which feels very reminiscent of Jenny Kane's Chloe sweater. I've owned both, and I'll tell you now, the Quince one is the one to buy. The Jenny Kane one actually starts to pill after the very first wear, and I just didn't find that the quality reflected the price point. This has a very boxy silhouette, especially across the body, so something to keep in mind if that's not a silhouette that you personally enjoy. And I have found that there's not really that much of a difference between sizings. You can go up or down a size or stick with your usual without it feeling too overwhelming, because the idea, the kind of intent behind the sweater is that it should be slouchy. I'm wearing mine in the size medium, but the small also would have been fine. One of my favorite underrated knitwear picks from Quince is the cotton linen relaxed cardigan. Again, this is giving Jenny Kane vibes, especially the crew neck version of this, but it is such a beautiful piece to wear in the summertime because the combination of the cotton and linen, it really creates this organic and raw feeling texture, and it is a dream to wear. It is so lightweight and breezy, and it was something I reached for a lot in the summertime because it felt like such a throw-on piece despite how hot it gets here in Australia. It has some great little patch pockets on the front and a split hem detail. I would say that this style is incredibly relaxed, so I recommend sizing down for petites. I'm wearing the size small. Sadly, the color I have no longer seems to be available on the website. It comes in a camel and then a dusty rose color, but both are really beautiful. Alternatively, I would check out the crew neck as I think that's so chic too. Another great cardigan pick is their organic cotton Fisherman Boxy cropped cardigan. Again, that really nice, sturdy, thick, robust cotton that holds its shape. The fact that it's cropped means that it's an ideal option for tucking into trousers or shorts if you like to do a bit of a half or a full tuck. This has really slouchy sleeves, so I do want to highlight that, as I know some people prefer more of a slim fitting sleeve, so just something to keep in mind. But a really good option if you're looking for a casual cardigan that you can bring into your wardrobe, and one that looks really beautiful with very feminine kind of cottagecore dresses. It comes in lots of colors as well, and I would recommend going with your usual size. I'm wearing the size small. This Skort is another piece that seems to have disappeared from the Quince website since I ordered it, but really cute and one to keep an eye out for. I'm a mum with 2 young kids, so I don't wear mini skirts very often, but this makes me feel like I can because it has the built-in shorts, which you would never know. Unlike some other bottoms I have from Quince, this one has fit true to size. I opted for it in a size 4. I have a couple more skirt picks. I really love this European linen maxi skirt. It's incredibly chic. It has a bit of a side split which comes up to the thigh, but it doesn't feel too high or too vulgar or too sexy. I feel like it's just enough, and it gives the skirt some really great movement. It has pockets, which we all love, and a really nice thick waistband. The elasticated waist on this is quite firm and it doesn't have a lot of stretch. I did size down to an extra small, and I would say this one just fits me. It is a little bit on the snug size, so I would recommend going with your usual size for this one. The linen just has that same beautiful washed, lived-in quality as the other linen pieces I've mentioned. Quince has a lot of these organic cotton poplin skirts, and this Pintuck maxi skirt is a new favorite of mine. It only seems to be available in the black on the site, but when they first launched it, it also came in white and navy, so I would keep your eyes peeled. It looks like a midi on the website, but I think their model is very tall because on me it is definitely a maxi, and I'm 5'8" or 172 centimeters tall. The little lace trim on the bottom of the skirt is incredibly pretty, and the poplin means it really holds its shape and its structure well. This one does not have pockets, but I do like the flat front of the elastic as it looks a little bit more polished. If you do want a skirt with pockets, I would recommend their tiered maxi skirt, which has more of a smocked elasticated waistband, and that does have pockets. This skirt runs large. I've sized down to the extra small, and I think if you could, I would size down 2 sizes. There are so many underrated pieces on Quince's website, and I really love the European linen wide leg pants. These have a super thick elasticated waistband, and I've noticed that they actually now come in 3 different inseams, so great if you're petite or you have slightly longer legs. These are a wide leg silhouette, but it doesn't feel like there's too much volume, like your ankles are swimming in fabric. They've really nailed the silhouette of these. The pockets, of course, are great, and then you do have the adjustable waist with the tie, which also has the little metal tips on the ends, and it creates this nice little point of contrast, especially on the darker colors. These use the exact same linen as the shirt I mentioned before. I have mine in a size small, and I would say I potentially could go down to an extra small, but I'm pretty happy with how relaxed they are. The elastic has a bit of a comfort stretch feel. Again, another underrated trouser find, the organic stretch cotton wide leg chino pants. These remind me a little bit of the Easy Pant from Everlane. The fabric on them is what makes them such a winner for me. It is incredibly thick and robust, it's sturdy, and it feels incredibly high quality. It also has a really nice smooth finish to the fabric. Again, an elasticated waistband. Turns out I really love these, but it makes for an incredibly comfortable trouser. You also have the little pockets on the hips, and these are lined too. So you can see there's that little bit of extra detail added in here. There aren't any inseam options to choose from with these trousers. I'm hoping they'll add those in the future, but the length on me as someone who is 5'8", I find they hit me at ankle length, which is kind of perfect because you can pair them both with a minimal dainty sandal and something that is a little bit chunkier or heavier on the foot. I've tried other pants like these, but none have compared, especially when you consider the value for money. I've sized down to a US 2, but I would recommend going with the larger of the 2 if you're between sizes. I absolutely adore this little linen spaghetti strap mini dress from Quince. I have it in the white, but it also comes in a subtle light blue pinstripe, which I think is really gorgeous too. It's a really easy, breezy one and done piece, which you can layer up or down. The adjustable straps allow you to dial up the femininity, especially if you choose to put the ties on the top of your shoulder. It does have a side zip closure, but I personally don't feel like it needs it, and there are pockets, and we do love a dress with pockets. It's also lined, so you don't have to worry about the white one being sheer at all. I would say that this is more of a relaxed fit, but I don't think that you necessarily need to size down. I'm really happy with how the size small fits on me. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's 100% linen, and then the lining is made from 100% cotton, so this is a truly breathable piece. Perfect if you live in a really hot or humid climate. Another linen mini favorite, and unfortunately, again, I can't find this one on the website, but I know this is a classic silhouette that Quince has been doing for years. It's essentially an A-line shift dress, and they have nailed the cut of this. It is so comfortable to wear. Again, it has pockets, has a little keyhole closure at the back, and the linen, it just feels so beautiful to wear because of how soft it is, and it just gets even better and better with age. This one really does fit true to size. I'm wearing the size small. My most recent dress find from Quince is the linen fit and flare midi dress. This is absolutely stunning, and you can see there's a lot of linen pieces in this edit because they just do it so well. This particular silhouette reminds me of something that you would get from a brand like Reformation or Doen, but without the price point. I have this one in the classic mini gingham, but it does come in 8 different color options, so there's a lot of variety to choose from. I would say that my experience with Quince's dresses is that many of them do run on the larger end of the spectrum, so I did size down to an extra small. I do have a little bit of room across the chest, so if you're someone who is especially petite, you may find that this is quite a generous fit on you and you need to get it tailored. It does have smocking at the back, so you've got a little bit of breathing room, and if you're in between sizes, I would recommend going with the smaller of the two. This is another cotton line piece, and the lining is incredibly robust, and it's what gives the skirt that really nice full finish. And it also has pockets, and you know, we love a dress with pockets. Additionally, the straps are adjustable, so you can make them longer or create a crossback effect if you wish. I wanted to end my favorites with a couple of shoe picks, as I've done an entire video dedicated to bags, which I'll link down in the description box. I love these 70mm strappy heels. They remind me a lot of the Rose Bear sandals, but ever so slightly different. They come in 3 different colors, but I have the bone or ivory hue. I wear Quince shoes in a US 10, though for size comparison, I'm an EU 40, or else I wear a US 9 in brands like Sam Edelman or Jeffrey Campbell. Because these only have a 7cm heel, they're incredibly comfortable despite how spindly it might look and how dainty the straps are. I feel really well supported in these shoes, and they're just such a great option for when I've got a special occasion. The price is not bad either. These come in at just $60 for a leather shoe, which I just think is phenomenal. If you want something that kind of tops the scales on the comfort level, then you need to try the Italian leather twist mid-heel mule. The leather on these shoes is buttery soft, and the strap is incredibly puffy, so I find them really comfortable to wear. Again, I went with my usual US 10 in these shoes, and I feel like that was the right choice. My heel is not hanging off the end, and actually I've got a little bit of room. I wouldn't recommend sizing down though. Don't feel like they kind of flap around on my foot. These are just shy of 6cm high, and they have quite a wide heel, which gives you a lot of support and feels really comfortable to stand in for a decent amount of time. I also like the fact that the outsole has been buffed for extra traction and stability, so if you step on a particularly slippery surface, you're not going to have a fall. So there you have it, my top favorites from Quince. I'm curious if there was anything else that you would add. As mentioned, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. And thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. If you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, then I do share a lot of brand reviews, styling advice, and how to remix your wardrobe. You can also see more on those topics over on my Substack, which again is down in the description box. You know where it is. Anyway, I hope this was helpful and guided you towards perhaps the right sizing and just gave you a better visual on how things fit and move. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.